Noble families and rich people are not necessarily the same thing in D&D, but unfortunately, we don't usually see the distinction done as a DM. So let's talk about how you can use that to your advantage. Friends, enemies, and those still under review, welcome back. This is Jack. All right. So, in D&D, it is very common, at least from the games I've seen and played in, where the DM does not make a real distinction between the nobleman and being the rich trader, as if they're the same type of thing. They are not. It is very possible for a very rich person to not be a noble and vice versa. So, how can you use this to your advantage? Well, you can use the easy and obvious one of a rich nobleman who uses his nobleman status to be an antagonist to the group. Because a lot of players will, especially the murder hobo type players, will not want to pay respect to noble titles. And therefore, will probably end up insulting said nobleman. Now they've just upset somebody who has political power and can make living in that kingdom very difficult, or so on and so forth. And not to mention, depending on the kingdom, you could actually have the nobleman just have them set to be executed, because there are societies where that has been a thing, and happens a lot in fantasy. Now that depends on like the DM you want to be, but you can also do it as the inverse. Maybe they run into an impoverished noble family. Maybe they actually have a decent title, but they don't really have any income because they don't have any actual lands to draw income from. They're just nobles by title. So what they do is they get in good and they work with them. They become their retainers, and through their own efforts, uplift the house. That way, you don't have to give one of the players the noble title, but instead you're using them to uplift this noble household. And then you can even do an arc where maybe the noble house betrays them, or maybe one of them gets married into the family, or just gets adopted into the family. You can have a lot of fun with that kind of thing. And it adds a lot of political intrigue potential, or literally mercantilism. You can actually have them as retainers, not be have to be mercenaries where they're going around murdering everything, which is still a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but you can have them actually act as a form of merchants or just guards to the nobles' merchants that they own, or however you want to look at it. There are a lot of potential that players can deal with this, and I feel it's an underused thing. Now, you could also do, as I said, the inverse. You can have a rich man who is not a noble. He can be a snob if you want, I don't care, but he's still not a noble. He doesn't have that title, and he wants that title. And maybe he's not that good of a person. Maybe he wants you to help him steal that title, defame a noble so he gets his title, or set up a situation where he becomes recognized as a noble, and then he will make you his retainers, that kind of situation. And then you can have him betray them if he wants, because what have you. It is a very feasible thing. Now, don't forget, though, if you want to give a nobleman status to a character, you also got to consider that as a form of shackle to that kingdom. That is actually the reason why kingdoms would give noble status. Just think of it this way. If you're just a rich merchant, you're effectively a freelance agent. If you're just a mercenary being hired for good, you're a freelance agent. You're just a contractor at best. But if you become a nobleman, a knight, you're given the title of knight, so on and so forth, you are now an employee for the company, for lack of better description. You are now a salaryman for this company. Now, you get all the benefits. You get all the health benefits and the regular hours, but the problem is you are now not able to jump from company to company as easily. So if your kingdom starts going down, you're kind of screwed, and so on and so forth. And if they call for you, you have to respond. So you can have fun with this as a DM. And as a player, if you're wanting to play with this as a concept, bring it up to your DM. Say, hey, I want to be a noble or a fallen noble from a fallen noble house. I want to serve some noble, and talk with them what you kind of envision this being like so they can work it into their story or work it into how they're going to run the mechanics of it. All right? There's a lot of potential things that a lot of DMs let go to the wayside that are in fantasy tropes and stories that we just don't think about because we get wrapped up in the, I got to go clear dungeon, I got to go fight Lich. And I think as DMs we can all do a bit better. But anyway, if you got any other D&D stuff, manga stuff, anime stuff, comic book stuff, movie stuff, cool geek stuff, comment section down below. You can hit that subscribe button. You'll know the next time I drop a video or go live. And I'll see you all in the next one.